Hello, welcome to Leadership Talk, a video series where we will be talking to leaders from various industries. We're here to share a couple of insights and a practical knowledge that can significantly impact on our career growth. Let's dive into the topic. Well, this is not only shaping the future, but it's also redefining the work that we do, innovate, and problem solving. Well, it's AI. I know AI everywhere, and few people are scared, few people are excelling. Well, if you have ever wondered that if AI will replace your job or how you can make sure if it doesn't, you're really on the right place. Today, we have Divya Krishnamoorthy here talking to us. She's a senior technical architect at Microsoft. Her work primarily deals with managing CXOs audiences from various industries, and I like the way she believes that she influences that to imagine people that art of possible in the domain of digital and AI transformation journey. Pleasure to have you, Divya. I really can't wait to unlock few insights from you and see how it goes on.
Thank you, Atrita, for the introduction. Thank you for having me on your leadership talk. As you rightly pointed out, AI is top of mind for every business leader, for every developer, for every other persona in the industry, right? We see a lot of it impacting individuals and businesses. So happy to be on board with this conversation to share a few insights from my end.
Thank you for that. Could you please try and share your insight from a specific industry, and also how is it impacting the businesses and the professionals?
Thank you. So I am part of Microsoft Innovation Hub, and I'm a senior enterprise architect here. I consult CXO audience on a daily basis. I get opportunity to at least talk to 2 or 3 industries. And when I say industries, it is predominantly maybe BFSI, manufacturing, EdTech, healthcare. You name the industry, you name the persona. It could be CXO audiences, it could be CXO -1. It could also be a VP head of engineering and stuff like that, right? So in my current role, I have the privilege in hosting customers at the Innovation Hub and giving them a sneak peek of what AI is all about and why it's making noise the way it is, right? Trust me on this one. It's going to be close to 2 years that ChatGPT was announced. But ever since the time ChatGPT was announced in the last 2 years, we have seen a heavy footfall across different industries, across different personas, trying to find out what AI is all about. I think the first year was predominantly the journey where, what is AI all about? And this year, or the second year, is where I see customers implement real use cases. The disruption is across the board, across different industries, like I said earlier. And generative AI, to speak about, is a general purpose technology which has kind of democratized AI for the overall ecosystem, right? So earlier, AI was a forte of very specific trained AI ML engineers, but now with generative AI coming into picture, it has kind of revolutionized the way we think about natural language. So pretty much any business and any industry which has use cases like speech to text, text to speech, document intelligence, maybe digital avatars, maybe conversational chatbots, it has taken, it's almost equivalent like NLP on steroids, or it's even gone beyond that, right? So today, any natural language task that humans would do, be it processing PDFs, be it processing invoices, be it looking at contract documents, be it looking at structured data and unstructured data, both of it put together, generative AI solves for us. Now, not just that, along with generative AI, you also have a plethora of other models in the ecosystem which have come together to make use cases look alive for businesses. So what do I mean by that, right? So earlier, if you look at maybe a classification problem, it would say, okay, dog or a cat, right? Or maybe A or B. But today it has gone much more beyond that. And I can imagine an end-to-end voice bot scenario. I can imagine a document automation scenario. So a lot of AI systems have come together into place, number one. Number two, also the hardware innovation has come to place because today you have a plethora of options for you, right? In terms of GPU, TPUs, NPUs. So I would say in terms of technology, hardware, models, software, all of these have arrived together. What this empowers businesses to do is now solve real world problems. not POCs, not MVPs, but really be able to solve an automation of a bank credit card statement use case, right? Or it could be a fraud detection use case, or it could be a complete loan processing scenario. And I want to drive insights about this whole thing, right? Or it could also be a conversational chatbot instead of a very meanly trained NLP based chatbot. So I would say it is left to the imagination of users and businesses to try and imagine Gen AI based use cases, but the disruption is across the board. The technology has arrived, businesses have woken up. Nobody wants to be left behind in this era of AI, and I think it is here to be alive.
I really like the last word, to be. Well, thank you so much for putting it very specific on the questions. Moving on, so it actually intimidates a lot of people out there about what's Gen AI, LLM, RAG, agent technology. So how aspirants like me and every other people out there, how do they, if they want to get into the field of AI, where should they start off? How do they upskill themselves and be alive out there? Yeah.
So think of it like this, right? We have all built applications in the past. It could be chatbots, it could be portals, it could be mobile apps, it could also be automation systems. So building applications is not new to us. What we have to learn right now is the art of conversing with large language models, the art of making the models understand your data, because at the end of the day, you want to build business applications, not just a hi, hello kind of an app, but real world meaningful business application. So there are a lot of frameworks that have come into picture. So there are different personas who have got who need to get upskilled, I would say, with AI based tooling. So one is the set of personas, let's say business users. Now for business users, there are ready-made AI tools. They could be the GPTs of the world or the co-pilots of the world, where by ease of use, out of the box, a solution is already made available to them, and they start using that solution or that AI tool as it is, right? So let's say, for example, in the context of Microsoft, if I were to take example of a co-pilot for Word, a co-pilot for PowerPoint, a co-pilot for Excel, a co-pilot for Teams, right? So all of these co-pilots are ready-made AI tools for non-coders, or I would say the business users, who can get started right away using these AI tools and to achieve a minimum of 20 to 30% productivity in whatever tasks we do on a daily basis. Now that is tools that you could buy off the shelf and start using. The second bit is where we end up building AI based applications, right? Also there are two solutions to offer. One is on the low code no code side, where I just drag and drop, give an AI endpoint to it and start building an AI solution. And the other one is a completely pro code approach, where I understand the different frameworks. Now this space is very fast evolving, which means that day in and day out there are tons of, you don't even know how many number of models are being pushed onto the model catalogs and the model gardens of the world. So one is to keep ourselves abreast about what are the various models that are available for us, number one. Number two, what are the solutions or the frameworks or tooling that is there, which will help me to bring in this LLM into my AI based application and then build something meaningful out of it. So if I were to take the complete developer side of things and say how developers can keep themselves abreast with the latest updates in the technologies, one is keep a quick eye on what are all the different models. And when it comes to models, it's not just one provider, right? You can have models from different people, and today you can build a poly-language model approach, right? You can bring in an LLM, you can bring in an SLM, you can bring in one model from Hugging Face, one model from Azure, one model from somebody else, and then you can stitch a solution end to end together. So which means that in the world of so many plethora of models being available, being aware of what are the set of models, what is the set of tooling is very important. When it comes to frameworks, frameworks like semantic kernel, frameworks like LangChain, LangGraph, Autogen Studio, these are all the different frameworks that are there, which are predominantly a Python based frameworks that are out there, but some of them also have support for Java, .NET and Node.js endpoints. So definitely Python is a given knowledge of choice for all the AI ML engineers, Now is a question of understanding yet another new framework which will help us to converse with these LLMs. The third element is for LLMs to work together, you also have the necessary data sources in terms of vector databases. So one has to know how to interact with vector databases, store data into that, retrieve data from that, and then have this overall execution or orchestration engine that revolves around LLMs, which will empower your apps. So end of the day, apps is just the front end or the facade, and the rest of the stack will still remain. Your data layer will still remain. But the intermediate orchestration layer is where you will have to work upon to build an intelligent app, right? So that's where predominantly the focus would be.
When you say tools and frameworks, so what are the some like key focus areas that one should actually really make sure that they're really good at? Like,
so I mentioned a few frameworks to start with. There are also, when you look at hyperscalers, if I take example of Microsoft Azure as a cloud provider to start with. So let's say, for example, there's a developer who is new, who wants to learn AI and wants to explore Microsoft Azure AI platform, right? So I would say get started with something called as Azure AI Studio, because that is a one-stop shop where you can get all the tooling that is necessary for AI coming together in one place, right? So I mentioned one thing, there are multiple models, so we'll have to evaluate different models. You'll do model benchmarking, you'll identify for this particular use case which is the best model with the least cost and the best accuracy. So you will need to play around a little bit with the models, and once you've played around with the models, you'll also look at which model, and then you would have identified the model. Then you look at what is the use case, what are my prompts that need to be given to the model. So you look at prompt libraries in that case, right? You'll also look at how do I test. So let's say I've built an app, the app is bringing in the data, feeding it to the LLM, you're doing a retrieval augmented generation and then generating out the necessary output for the user. How do you really validate the output that's been generated by the model? So there are also ways and means in which you can do bulk testing, you can do performance testing of these models on the platform. And it's like an end-to-end developer cycle for LLM based applications. So we call it LLM Ops, which is nothing but a DevOps equivalent for LLM based applications. So you can envision a use case end to end and take it all the way up to production using some of these tools, right? So on Microsoft platform, it is called Azure AI Studio. Other hyperscalers also have their own platforms. So I'm sure each of them are coming up with their own solutions. But I would say, practically speaking, I have tried and tested different platforms from different hyperscalers. I felt that AI Studio on Azure is a very comprehensive tooling for developers to get started with. So that is something that you could explore.
It was really nice talking to you, Divya. Like really great insights, and hope all our viewers and people out there would be really benefited with few of the insights that you've given. Thank you so much for coming and making time for us. Thank you so much. Yeah,
it's always a pleasure talking about the latest technology to all the enthusiasts. So have fun coding with AI. I think now is the time where everything has come together, and even if you look at developer tooling, there are code assists, there is a PPT assist, there are a lot of tools out there. I would just end with one thought. Many a times people ask me this question saying that, will AI take away our jobs, right? And what's going to happen to the future of many of us, right? I would say, or even many of the leaders that I hear in the industry, the opinion is that it is not that AI is going to replace a person. It is a person who knows AI will replace a person who doesn't know AI. Because end of the day, everybody wants to develop things much more faster in an innovative manner. Something that I would take 4 hours to do, if I'm able to do it in a matter of 20 minutes, why not, right? As long as it serves the cost benefit for that particular organization. So in my opinion, AI is not here to take away jobs. It is here to aid our jobs, number one. And anybody, any persona who will be left behind will be somebody who is not adapting to this new era of AI. So I would say look around. There are plenty of tools in the market, and it's a time to actually, I would say, reinvent ourselves as individuals, as developers, and also as businesses and organizations. So it's a great opportunity. make the best out of it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Divya. And to reinvent yourself, as Divya said, please do check out our YouTube channel and make sure that you also follow this series where different industry leaders are going to come and give you a lot of insights about the word AI. Let's all be there. Thank you so much.